We are on 8th Avenue and 55th Street, and we'll be on Broadway in a minute or so. See that gyro place? Or gyro, or however you pronounce it? Euro. I call it gyro since I'm American. I don't know any better. That used to be a pizza place, but two other pizza places opened up on this block, so they couldn't handle the pressure. Pizza Hut and Little Italy Pizza. Waiting for the light to change. Now, years ago, in the 90s, the original soup kitchen we're passing. This used to be the original soup Nazi from the TV show Seinfeld, right over here. But he sold the business and he's no longer involved in it. He actually hated being part of it. Regretted it. Too many people would bug him about it, even though it made him a lot of business. He was just a miserable person, I guess. But he's no longer involved in it. Hey, Joe Hernandez. We just passed by the soup Nazi place. I don't know if you were there. I was just doing some work, got off work, and now I'm walking home. We will walk by the zoo of Times Square, which somebody said in someone else's live stream, should they visit Times Square? I've walked by it many times. My answer is you got to do it once. I don't really typically care for Times Square, but Broadway cuts across, and it's actually the fastest way for me to walk. Yeah, it is. Hello, Stream Elements. I don't know how Stream Elements works. I was testing it out. I hope Nightbot is still with us. I might turn off Stream Elements. I don't know. Here's another dollar pizza place, 99-cent fresh. They're keeping up the tradition of dollar pizza. So we go from expensive soup to dollar pizza. That expensive soup is like $10 a soup. They used to give a piece of chocolate and I forget what else, like an apple or something, or maybe a graham cracker. I can't remember.
Because
only had it once.
When I was junking, I was always yelling Timmy at you. We're trying to get fucking Timmy. Fucking
that they actually do.
Back up with the fucking Ajax and come a duck duck. No? Who's gonna be with an Ajax?
A lot of people that are disturbed in Times Square too. See, he's charging his phone. New York City got rid of payphones a while ago, and they replaced them with these things, which gives you free calls and charge your phone. But unfortunately, people using them are usually people who can't afford phones, and they smell. And it's not because their own doing. It's because the city failed. We used to have more programs in place, I feel like. don't know. Off meds. Let's walk the other way. Try and get away from him. I'm sure he's a nice guy when he's on whatever medicines he needs. But I don't want to get involved. You might see me with the gimbal and start talking. And he looked a bit angry. When someone's agitated, I try to avoid and disengage. This part of Broadway above Times Square is really nice. It's peaceful. There are people walking around, so it's not dead, but it's not real crowded like Times Square. This place here, this hotel, M Social, they have a rooftop, I think, right over there. And you get nice view looking south of Times Square. I've never been there, but I've seen some people go up there. Right next to some restaurants. Gallagher's, never ate there. I think that's a steakhouse. He probably is, but something is disturbing him. It's slightly hazy. I don't know why. Maybe it's from Canada. Those fires. Excuse me. So, still getting over the nasty cold or flu I had on July 4th weekend. As well as the past few days I was out of town. Plus my father, who I thought he might have, I last saw him on Friday last week, and he got sick after I saw him. I thought maybe he had the flu. Turned out he had a tick bite. I had to go see him in upstate New York, take him to the hospital. So I really haven't been in the city until Sunday night, late Sunday night, early Monday morning. And Monday I just was too exhausted. I haven't really been out and about till today. Today is July 11th, 7/11. That's the one my cousin's birthday is. I have to make sure I wish him happy birthday when I get off this live stream. Yeah, I'm pretty good now. It's just a chronic cough. Maybe I'll have some more Tylenol when I get home. I actually went on an interview on the day before July 4th, July 3rd. I was really sick, but I took Tylenol and I had a cup of iced coffee because it was so damn hot. And somehow I made it through the interview. I thought I totally bombed it, plus I didn't feel myself. But Thursday I was informed that I actually was offered a position. But I was going upstate. I didn't know when I'd return. They wanted me to start immediately on Monday. They didn't want me to give 2 weeks notice, which I thought was a bit unusual. And it was okay. It wasn't Well, actually, it was terrible pay. But what really got me was the combination of the pay was the benefits that have to wait basically a year for health care, which I said, okay, fine. But then after the whole year, they still wouldn't give me days off, like vacation or personal days. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Because they wouldn't even give me, they said attendance was very important to them. And the number one reason they let people go was attendance. And there was no vacation or personal days. So I said, you know what? This is a recipe for disaster. No wonder why they can't keep anyone. It was a temporary, no, it was a, through an agency. So the agency got their cut. That's why the pay wasn't so good. But it's like they kind of set you up to fail because they don't give you any days off other than the 2 days a week. Oh boy, here goes the music with the spinners. Yippee, let's keep walking. So, here we have some shops of overpriced stuff for the holidays. Get killed. Thanks, James. Yeah, 1 year. Well, actually, it was like X amount of hours, which was 44 weeks. 44 and a half weeks, basically. So like 760, I think. I have it written down somewhere, but I thought it's usually 6 months. So if you want a sandwich here, $17 plus tax, oh, 15 and up plus tax. Bit expensive over here.
There is a mirror.
Amazon actually gives you health insurance day one now. It used to be 3 months. Here's this ATM, which has Bitcoin. Can't really see, it says Bitcoin. So I guess those street vendors take Bitcoin. Ah, there you go. Nightbot still works. Excuse me. So yeah, six months is what I thought was usually standard. I've been 1099 for so long that I was starting to question myself, is a year. Because I get mine through the exchange, but the problem with the exchange is good luck finding doctors that take it. You have a small list.
And now it's got the top ones, and I met the man. I mean,
But and here's T-Mobile's flagship store. I hear they're closing, if not already, the one in Vegas. And I think they had one in Chicago maybe that was closing or closed. See, it's hot. The guy's wiping his forehead. It was so damn hot. Oh, thank you. know, she was just screaming. There was a monk. He was just saying take, and I didn't want to take. See, that's the scary thing. I had a CD player that got burnt in a fire years ago and never replaced it, which I should replace it. I have a stereo, but there's no CD player. It goes through Bluetooth. And when I was looking for CD players recently, it's all these unknown brands. You know, I was thinking, where's Sony? Panasonic? They don't exist. You have stuff like Kobe. It's like, Kobe? So recently this Cane's opened up. Like a few days before they opened, they were offering free chicken somewhere by Times Square. I knew it was going to be a mob, so I didn't even bother. Wow, that smoke from there is like set me off. Okay. Your Amazon packages through Times Square. It is nuts. I feel like it's gonna fall any second now. How it's stacked. Hopefully it doesn't. Bubba Gump. In case you love Forrest Gump. I've never eaten there. I hear they have some good specials for a chain. This is the Hard Rock Cafe. I've never eaten at this one. I once went to one in Boston years ago when I was a kid. They have a lot of clothing. So if you ever want to get memorabilia, you can go here and get it. Some of the clothes they have now. Their beer is, I have no idea. What? People's Bank? Pretty. And then there they're selling water. People's Bank. Never heard of them. If you've heard of People's Bank, let me know. So we are approaching 42nd Street. Broadway. I never noticed it, but they redesigned a little bit this entrance. Over here, it's been redesigned a while ago, but they changed one element of it. It's probably been that during the pandemic they did it. They have a customer service center now, right? No bus, you ain't moving. So see here, customer service center. You have this now. With seats. 4 seats. And I guess that's going to be an information area. You got cameras there. You also have police when you walk into the station. That's nice. Chinese-owned bank. Okay, thank you. So now you know where you can get a place to sit in the center of Times Square and be helped with customer service for the MTA. This place has pretty good burgers, I remember, but their fries I wasn't thrilled with. Hello, Ross Tasty Daily Life. They were closed for a while during the pandemic, but reopened. Broadway and 41st, we just passed Times Square. Wow, it smells of burgers. Now, we're approaching Joe's Pizza, which is a chain of pizza places. They've been featured in the movie Spider-Man, but not this location. I think it was further downtown at their semi-original location. The reason why I say semi-original is because they moved down the block. So their original location doesn't exist. And it didn't exist when they filmed the movie Spider-Man. But they're very expensive. For a slice, I don't know, it's $4 or $5 or something. Yeah, there's a line out the door. They're New York City style slice, so a little bit larger. See, that's what it looks like. I didn't want to breathe over that pizza. Guy with a gimbal, who also has a cough. And about 10 years ago, banks and pharmacies really took over New York. They're starting to disappear, but they reopened too, changing their portfolio. But you have a CVS here, and right across the street, you have a Dwayne Reed. And of course, you have this typical Starbucks. You have park security watching over. So you have a few homeless people who are a bit crazy. I didn't show it because there was a woman who was in a bikini and they were worried about her. She clearly was delusional. I don't like to really focus on homeless when they're not really themselves, when they're really disheveled. Of course, you got the Chase Bank. I don't know if you can see it. City MD. You have the Quest diagnostic boxes. I'm scared to know what's in it. I feel like there's dirty needles or something in there. Or blood work or something. I ran into one of my friends on the street earlier who does all sorts of acting jobs. He's like got a few minor speaking parts, but it's mostly extra stuff. And he was in a gazillion different TV shows and movies, but no one's ever heard of him. He does have some credits on IMDb. And I asked him if he'd be on the show. He's like, definitely. But it wasn't the right time. I had to go somewhere. He didn't want to, he was wearing a tank top. He didn't want to be wearing a tank top, and I didn't really offer him that specific moment. Plus, I would prepare a few questions to try and guide the conversation. Wow, look at those French cream donut. That cream is like sticking out of it. Wow, that's wild. And that's for Pon Quotidien. They're under different ownership now. And I don't know, some of their items aren't as good as they used to be. But since they're featuring that in the window, I'm guessing that's the direction they're going. So you gotta be careful. They change the ingredients of some of their items if they still have it. Like I know the challah bread isn't as good anymore. If you want to make challah bread French toast, you might want to think twice about getting it there. But I'm sure they have other items that are really good. They also close a bunch of locations. Excuse me. We are a few blocks away from Macy's. They always have some interesting window displays, so we'll look at a few of them. Macy's is also popular for the 4th of July fireworks, and also the Thanksgiving Day parade. But if you go to Macy's thinking you're going to see fireworks on the 4th of July, you're mistaken. It's over by usually the East River. Sometimes they do it at the Hudson. You gotta check in advance. But lately it's been on the East River at Midtown area. Thank you, not bad. We are still on Broadway, approaching 36th Street. Macy's runs between 35th and 34th. Broadway to 8th. It's like the entire building except for a tiny little sliver of building at 34th. You'll see. 34th from Broadway is like a sunglass store. Sunglass hut. As well as a Burger King in the basement. But Macy's has a McDonald's, they have a few Starbucks in there. They have a Ben & Jerry's, Pretzel Time, I think. It's either Pretzel Time or Aunt Annie's. One of the two. The other interesting thing with Macy's now is if you go into their store, at least this one over here, they have like sporting event arenas where there's a sign that says something along the effects of, by entering in this store, you agree to some sort of facial recognition. It's pretty creepy. So if you do not want your facial recognition thing, they try and identify each person by their face to make sure that they're not like a criminal. Spooky times we live in. You know what? Macy's windows are in intermission right now. They're preparing for new windows. I guess the July 4th windows are done with. See, they have Italian cuisine on the 6th floor even. Magic in the making. So no windows. We tried. See, they have preparing for something else. That's the entrance. Well, we can't go inside. At least I don't think they want me inside with the gimbal. A lot of stores, they freak out when they see someone walking around with a camera. So this is a cool collab that Burger King has had for a while here. Burger King and Cinnabon. And here's that little store I was talking about. Go downstairs for Burger King and Cinnabon. There's the sunglass hut.
Today.
So this is Herald Square, where Macy's is. The world's largest store, I think. Well, at least in the US. See, it goes a whole block minus that tiny little store. That whole building minus this tiny little store over here. This Macy's that goes several floors. They have the wooden escalators, which I showed a short of a while ago. There's Otis, I think it's Otis. They're ancient. Now, if you have a child, sometimes over here, not often, but sometimes, like today, they have pop-up events where they have, not often, but once in a blue moon you see it, those inflated hot air jungle gym set up. And that's what that is. You see it right over there. We'll walk by it, but I don't want to film any kids. I'll try not to. And over here, this used to be Manhattan Mall, but they got rid of the mall, and Aeropostale is like one of the last holdouts. And you enter from the street as opposed to being in a mall. They got rid of the mall, even though that's a mall type of store. That used to be GameStop. You could kind of see it used to say GameStop on it as well. If you want to go up closer. So this bike lane is two different ways. Usually it's one way in Manhattan. Outer boroughs is more likely two ways. See, if you have kids, you can get your tickets now. See, that used to be GameStop right over there. Let's go through the park. See how massive this thing is? If you have kids, they would love that. It's probably going to cost like $20-something probably. I have no idea. But they have the QR code. My mod left? Oh wow. I don't see what happened.
No way.
Nightbot also monitors stuff too. So you can buy the tickets there or use the QR code. They won't even tell you the price. That's how sneaky it is. You gotta look it up online. This place, Speedy's, is there for 42 years and recently closed. And their landlords are Solil, a really large landlord. They have buildings all over the city, as do their relatives. See, this bike lane is only one way and it goes against traffic, which that's unusual. Usually it goes with traffic. Gotta be careful. You gotta look both ways. This building looks like this was built recently. Nomad. North of Madison Park. This neighborhood is a newer type of neighborhood. It used to be called the Garment District. Now it's called Nomad. Developers want to make it more, quote, trendy. Which they are doing, as you'll see. This new hotel right over here that's sticking out. Recently opened. No, wait. I was thinking of a different hotel. No, that's not a hotel. Maybe it is. See our hotel or office buildings. Next block. And thank you for letting everyone know, Joe.
Yeah, see you.
Before they had all these spike lanes, there used to be, before Times Square was renovated, with all the pedestrian plazas, and like these plazas, there used to be a bus that ran, South Ferry used to run down Broadway. But when they added all these bike lanes and pedestrian plazas, they took that away. And now the bus lane, I mean the bus stop, isn't on Broadway anymore. This is the new hotel that was talking about. Sir Richard Branson's Virgin Hotels. So South Ferry used to run all the way on down Broadway. Now it makes more turns, not as center down as it used to be. It goes down 5th at one point. I miss when it went down Broadway. But as Times Square got more and more of a tourist mega center, they had to increase the sidewalks and pedestrian plazas. Hello, Purpose K, how are ya? And we have a place here called Swingers. No, not that type of swingers. The Crazy Golf Club Swingers. What a name. Looks like it's still under renovation. Looks like they never opened. Oh no. Sorry about that, Joe. iPod is on duty. Thank you, Purpose K. I wish the streaming software on my screen showed the pink waves. All I see is the text, but I know what it is. Oh, that's Nightbot for you. Let's see. I remember in the 90s, or even the early 2000s, well before, well actually, yeah, like the aughts. This was more of a garment area, more of wholesale. A lot of them are closing, like this one. I guess they're closed, I don't know. still have a few holdouts, but it's really changing quick. It was even changing during the pandemic. During the pandemic, everything was shut down, but as soon as the hotels came back, I think all the hotels over here came back. A lot of them in Midtown East didn't. Also, if you go further west, also near Times Square, there's a lot of hotels that didn't make it either. That's a hotel. Yeah, since there's not that many hotels here, they either was sold to somebody else or reopened. But there are areas where a lot of hotels didn't. Some became homeless shelters, others just closed and never reopened. Some were resold to somebody else. It was a big mess. This place is new. Mama Zul Mexican Grill. I've never seen this one. Looks more like an actual restaurant than a Chipotle. Chipotle is more of a fast casual. And this is a huge menu. Yeah, they got cocktails. Wow. Yeah. Fajitas 24 for chickens. Skirt steak 28, shrimp 28. Wow. Definitely more expensive than Chipotle. Have a nice bar, full bar. Let's taco about it. Exactly. It looks nice. Control the future of your health. Can't really see it. That's forward. I think that's forward's either, I think it's dental. I could be wrong. I think it's a dental plan, or if it's a doctor with urgent care, without primary care. One of the two. They have these like quasi. It's not health insurance, like it's health plans. It's either health or it's dental plan, but it's not insurance. On paper, it sounds like a great idea until you need a lot of work done to you. And then it's a nightmare. I don't know. The thing with health insurance is you don't use it until you really need it, I feel like. And then that here, see, this is 2 lanes. By then, if you don't have it, then it's too late. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. If we had universal health care, none of this would be an issue. Building in front of us, that curved looking building, that's the Flatiron building. It's currently under renovations, but when it's done, it'll be really nice. So that guy doesn't know the difference what lane to be in. People can't read basic lanes. Shouldn't be riding bicycles. There, that's Madison Square Park. Starts basically where Madison Square Park does. Madison Square's not Madison Square. Madison Avenue starts across from the park. Madison Avenue starts. City bike. City bike in front of a city bank. Go figure. Seems intentional. Okay. Here we are. Approaching 23rd Street. Watch out over here. Flat on Nomad. What I miss, Joe? What's so funny? Right on. Just not in our plazas. No biking. You'll see biking anywhere. People do what they want to do. Of course, when I say that, not a single cyclist. They also have salsa and art nights. Free live music, salsa dancing, and art in the heart of Flatiron Nomad. Every Thursday at 4 through July 13th. You saw it right here. This little plaza gets a lot of events, a lot of freebies, commercial companies rent out this space. They do a lot of freebies over here. I filmed freebies over here actually. I got a slushie once. By the way, today's 7-Eleven day. If you didn't get your Slurpee, you can today for free. Thank you, 7-Eleven. You need the app. At least that's in the US. I've gotten coffee over there. I've gotten a coffee mug. I've gotten, what else? Newspaper Post. Gives out newspapers there sometimes. Now, if you are if you have a child, or you're an adult child and a fan of Harry Potter, and you want to go to Hogwarts and you don't know how, well, this is the exit to the Harry Potter store in New York. It's like an experience. It's almost like a museum, but it's really a gift shop. You can also get butterbeer, which is non-alcoholic because they're marketing it for its kids. I've never had butterbeer. I have no idea. It's probably loaded with sugar and tastes nasty probably, but you see some of the merch right there. It's hard to see through the glass. You see?
Drink it.
So they have a butterbeer service when open. So it costs butterbeer cup of ice cream $8. A mug of butterbeer $12. Apple juice $2.50. Water $3.50. Interesting. And that was at 22nd and Broadway. which the entrance is on 5th Avenue and 22nd. Ah, they do. It's probably just sugar water with foam and ice cream. That's what I think it is. I could be wrong. Now, here's Charles Schwab. You see them online. But this is if you want to go in person and speak to somebody. It's not they do have a banking account, but that's not what this is. This is like for investing. Even though they have a bank account as well. But it's not like the traditional brick and mortar bank. It's more of an investment branch. Thank you, Nightbot. Reach, furniture store. Timothy Bolton, I think it's pronounced. I could be wrong. They're in London, Glasgow, New York, Los Angeles, Hong Kong, Miami, Dubai. Hong Kong again. I guess they have 2 locations in Hong Kong. And Sydney. Oh, they're also in San Francisco. Looks like expensive furniture. Almost looks like a museum. Owners Club. 20% off anytime. Free delivery. Basically, they want you to sign up and they collect your information and they can always bombard you with circulars. Either electronic or in the mail. Or both. Equinox, the world's most expensive gym chain. I think Equinox also owns Blink, which is their cheaper brand. Blink is like an upscale Planet Fitness. Equinox is just an upscale Blink. So they cover the market. This store here, Fish's Eddy. That's how you pronounce it. There. They sell all sorts of ceramic stuff, like pots, plans. They have like a very liberal slant, which I happen to like.
So
Not
I
everyone.
think, like, I'm hearing you say this is something that he's
That view.
very successful
Really nice.
in that role. He probably could have. They probably would have given him some leeway to go
Sun shining on the brick ahead. And that greenery above, that's Union Square Park.
At least that's the lifestyle. Yeah.
See below us is the subway grates. sporting goods store that outlasted what used to be, I think, Herman's over there. There used to be a Herman's at one point that tried to compete. Paragon struggled through the pandemic, but they were able to make it. I'm guessing they might own the building. I could be wrong.
It's gonna be Trainer Eagle.
Yeah. Ice cream! I know, but it's just the same. I need to know for myself.
Now over there, they often have free samples from companies right on that corner. Where that slushy guy is, but he's charging. He's not giving anything for free. But usually over that plaza right over there, they give free stuff sometimes. Now, over here is Union Square Park. Sometimes they have street performers. A few days a week they have a huge farmers market which goes all the way there and all the way there. The largest farmers market in the city. That's your typical McDonald's. So you have some sort of performer guy over here. But I'm gonna keep going. That's really good, expensive ice cream, Van Leeuwen. That's one of the few actual licensed dispensaries. They look closed. I don't know, maybe they failed already. See, this is all this that we're walking through a few days a week is a farmer's market. They sell pastries, dairy, fish, fruits, different breads, salad, different herbs, wine, meat, all sold here. Now the question is he playing the violin? Who knows? These guys are the Hare Krishnas. They basically give them all their money to join a religious cult, and they just sing all day. So let's just keep going. Blah 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 blah. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You can tell. I don't know. The guy was wearing a mask, or guy or girl. I don't even know how they could see out of what they were doing. I don't think they were playing anything. Hare Krishnas were. no doubt about that. They were singing and banging on drums and shaking the rattle thing. But the violin guy, I don't know. That's questionable at best. So this Capital One Bank, not only is it a bank, but they also have a coffee shop in there. That's why you see people having coffee. I can't go in there and film, but and the coffee isn't free. You gotta buy the coffee. But they let you charge your phone, and you get 50% off coffee if you're a Capital One cardholder. But across the street, if you're there before 4 o'clock, $1 any size hot coffee, drip. They show it with a spoon. They don't give you a spoon and a saucer and a ceramic cup. It's a paper cup. So the picture's wrong. But it's $1.09 there before 4 for hot coffee. And you can charge your phone there too. And you don't need to be a Capital One customer. But you gotta go there before 4 to get the deal. And that's the Regal movie theater. You see, they got their 7-Eleven free Slurpee. They did too. That's why everyone is smiling with the Slurpee cups. Because they didn't have to pay for it. Oh, you're a musician. I didn't know that. So you know who, when I posted the short of that Guitaro guy who was in Union Square a few days ago, like a week or two ago, you know who that is, I'm guessing. He was like over 1 million YouTube subscribers, and he doesn't even promote YouTube anymore because I think he got demonetized. He wants people to go to Twitch. Because YouTube doesn't really like you to do covers. They want you to create your own content. See, she's smiling too because she got a free Slurpee as well. So this church coming up on Broadway, a really nice church, Grace Church, I think it is. I could be wrong though, that's what I think it is. This building here, it's tore down, a really old historic building where Abe Lincoln actually went to. But they tore it down. If you look at Jeremiah Moss, Google, search 799 Broadway in
It's gone pretty good.
on his blog.
Yeah.
Was he? Vanishing New York. It's over there. 799 Broadway. Real shame. Grace Church. See, 175 years ago. See, that's the church. church is filming, but that's just me. If you want, you can. But I don't want to. Weird. And when I was a child, where this bush here was an old tree, and at one point the tree fell down. So they replanted what looks like an apple tree. Anyway, let's keep going. There's kids over playing. I don't want to get it. This building here is an unwinding dorm. It's actually a nice looking building. That's older, whereas a lot of these buildings are new, which look terrible. That building's new and it already looks like it's full of mold. Go figure. 5-year-old building should not look like it's covered in mold. I don't know. Everyone's on their phones over there. So I'm gonna walk to Houston Street and then call it a day. So this is all a advertising for supermarket coming later this year, and offices for the supermarket. Wegmans. What they're doing is they're training people elsewhere in the city that work down here. The retail apocalypse on this street is real. Over there too. That used to be a Dwayne Reed Walgreens. Yeah, Walgreens bought Dwayne Reed, so they have interchangeable in New York City. Then that was 2 stores. The one on the right used to be a deli, and the one on the left was a pizza shop. I'm thinking the pizza shop, I could be wrong, I think it was a pizza shop, not the deli, but I could have been either one. There was a fire and it spread all here and upstairs, and ever since those 3 storefronts have been vacant. They made 3 into 2 stores. Deli and a pizza, they expanded, they broke the wall through, which they could always divide back, I guess. This is the first legal cannabis store in New York City. Housing Works. See, that woman who was homeless was actually act up and yell and shout. So it's a lot more pleasant than some of the others. She's been there for a while now, at least a few months. This is a famous hairstylist. They used to have like 3 stories. They used to have the basement, the first and second, but before the pandemic, they went to the basement. They almost went out completely. There's a documentary on Amazon. It might still be there, I'm not sure, about them. You've had all sorts of famous people get haircuts there, including one of the Kennedys. Was it JFK? Possibly. They've been there for years. Yes, Amalgamated Life Insurance Building. It's really NYU building. They have the from doctors and dentists, health center, medical offices, dental facility. In the back there, they also have the NYU Federal Credit Union. But you can't even tell from the street. It's hidden. And they don't put a sign that there's a bank in there. But yeah, there's a credit union there. So if you're a student or faculty or if you previously went to NYU, you can use their credit union. But their rates are worse than a lot of the commercial banks. So it's like, makes no difference. So go figure. You know, I'm all for credit unions, but they have to offer you something to want you to bank there. But usually the technology of their apps or their online access are lacking unless they're like a really large credit union. Yes, I do. But I don't bank there. That's why I end it at Houston Street, so you don't see exactly where I live. This opened up during the pandemic, or they started building it during the pandemic. NYU School of Global Public Health. I guess they thought of it during the pandemic. Oh, we should have a global public health center. It's like, why didn't you have it sooner? You know, everything is in this, at least in the US. I don't know about other countries, but we're very slow with doing anything. We wait till something happens, then we react. We don't plan well. Maybe that's just human nature. She is wearing boots. Yes, she is. Very good, observant. There was no rain today, though. Approaching Great Jones Street. I have to post a few-minute video of Great Jones Street. Angelina Jolie is opening a store of some sort on Great Jones Street. Block and a half down that way. But it's not open yet. It's nowhere near open. I think it's the fall. Excuse me. Okay. There we go. That and probably my phone doesn't have that much of a charge. It was already a little low when I left. Some areas that place these rocks so people can sit on them, or for homeless to pee on them. Not sure which. Or dogs would pee on them. This bar right next to Wendy's, Bleecker Street Bar, They used to be on Bleecker Street. Now they're like 2 doors down from Bleecker and around the corner. They lost their lease, and a few years later,
Yeah, it
like
doesn't mean
about
they
a
lost
month
it.
ago, they opened. And they opened the kitchen too. Kitchen open all day. $6 Coors Light, lager, Pilsner, Prosecco $8. Give you an idea. Bleecker Street Bar. Spirits, innovations, food, pool, darts. Yeah, they used to have darts and I think pool before too. Oh, looks like that finally is opening up a new bar or a cafe. Closed since the pandemic. Excuse me. Oh, there's your famous lady with the boots. It's funny. Oh, irony, that's a watch store. This building here, 636 Broadway, that's where Cash Jordan used to have an office. You know who that is, a YouTuber. Now it's down to a closet. But in real estate, that's all you really need. Best Buy, they've been there for a long time. And I forget which one. I think it's not. Yeah, I think it's right here where that Rip and Dip is, where she's outside. I think that's where Radio Shack used to be years ago. Right in there. And Best Buy out survives now. That's a famous piece of art right at Soho. HSBC Bank is still around. I used to have a HSBC bank account years ago, but I found their technology years ago not to be that good, so I left. But I think it was American Eagle, or maybe the building next to it, is where they had a location. And prior to it being and that's where I actually originally opened an account. These are fruit places, but I don't know. The fruits look, they've been in the sun too long. So I don't recommend going there. And this is a new Target. This Target has no clothing whatsoever, which is a bit weird. Anyway, on that note, we're at Soho and Broadway and West Houston. Not East Houston, not West Houston, Broadway. I mean, West Houston, East Houston, I'm sorry. Not West Broadway. There's a few blocks over there. East Broadway is well down over there. Yeah, but this Broadway separates West Houston, East Houston right over here. That's what I meant to say. See? That's Target. Anyway, be safe, everyone. Don't forget 7-Eleven. It's Free Slurpee Day. Thank you.